You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
To celebrate the opening of training camp, Liam will be reading every name on the Oilers roster. Let's get into it with the lead. Come on, buddy. Alphabetical order, too.
Okay, here we go.
And we're gonna put like a shock thing on. Every name you mispronounce, you get shocked.
Victor Arvidsson.
Oh, are we actually gonna do it?
I've already started.
Okay, go.
Carl Berglund, Connor Brown, Drake Gajula. Thank goodness I know that one. Connor Clattenburg, Ethan DeYoung, Leon Draisaitl, Seth Griffith, Jaden Gruby, James Hamlin, Adam Henrique, Mike Hoffman, Zach Hyman, Matthias Janmark, Ruby Gerventi, Evander Kane, Raphael Lavoie, not Marc Lajoie, Connor McDavid, William Nickel, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Sam O'Reilly, Lane Peterson, Corey Perry, Matvey Petrov, Noah Philp, Vasily Podkolzin, Derek Ryan, Matt Savoy, Jeff Skinner, James Steffen, don't know who that is, Brady Stonehouse, Dalen Wakely. Cam Wright. Okay,
And now to the defense.
next page. Boake, Evan Bouchard, Josh Brown, Connor Carrick, Connor Corcoran, Travis Dermott, Cam Denis, Matthias Ekholm, Ty Emberson, Ben Gleason, Noel Hoffenmeyer,
Yes.
Alex Canuck Liepert, Bill Kemp, Brett Kulak, Daniel Nurse, Troy Stetcher, Max Warner,
Goalies.
Brett Brushu, Nathaniel Day, Colin Delia, Calvin Pickard, Olivier Rodrigue, Stuart Skinner, and Connor Unger.
All right.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Edmonton Oilers training camp roster presented by Liam Horrobin.
There you go.
Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday. As always, we are live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca. Tyler Mulick is in. Big ups to the Thai legend, Canuck Liepert, who is apparently born in Thailand.
Well, I have it. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
This a guy, is he a PTO?
Nah, I think he's just like a rookie camp invite. Congrats, Liam. Well done, Liam. Very good, Liam. Stick taps for Liam. So the chat is happy that you did that, and so am I.
5'11", Alex Canuck Liepert beat 6'8". I'm not logged into Facebook. 6'8", Adam. Oh God,
What's going on?
Klapka. Wow.
Beat him in a fight.
Beat him in a fight. I'll send a link.
Okay. That's interesting. Yes, Oilers training camp opens up today, and there is a lot for us to get to. Yeah, Mulick is in. He beat the brakes off Klappa a year or two
There you
ago.
go. I don't know
why-
what Klappa is.
Mulick, why do you know so much about this guy is my follow-up question to the whole thing. But regardless, we
jump.
move on.
Sorry.
Yeah, you had our show up. Remember one of the first shows that we did where we kept a fader up and there was just a cycle of the
Yeah,
audio going through the whole time?
So in a couple of weeks, my girlfriend is teaching her students about like media, like different types, like graphic,
Media
podcasting.
literacy is something very important to teach children these days.
Yeah. So she wants me to come in. They're making their own podcasts. So they like design them. She wants me to come in and teach them how to do the audio and stuff like that.
Cool.
So I thought it'd be a really funny idea. Like I'm going to make a bit of a presentation for it.
Mhm.
Would be show our first ever show and like play that clip and just like show our most recent show being like the progression of it.
Mhm.
It's funny you bring that up.
You can play them this clip. Diddy's arrested.
Oh God. It's a Catholic school.
So we're out. I was going to make a joke, but it actually would not have been a good joke at all. Okay, we have a lot to get to today.
Yeah, we do.
We do. A handful of headlines coming out of Oilers training camp. We'll have a What's Trending segment where we go around the league because there's a bunch of stuff going on around the league as well. And then you have a new game that we're going to play.
Yeah, we do have a game. It's different to Liam's game, which I think was a fun game.
Yep.
But we probably hit the quota on that, I think.
I think we will eventually run out of players. So we gotta, yeah.
So we gotta freshen things up.
But we do need to think of a new way next year to have people win prizes. Yeah.
I've always liked the idea of those like still images of being like, what happens next?
I do like that too.
Yeah, that might be a
But then
one.
how you can't, it's hard to have just one winner on that. I guess we could do a draw.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like
whatever we do, we need the wheel.
Yeah, it's going to be a very accurate answer, though, right?
Yeah.
So it might actually be easier to do one winner, but we'll troubleshoot.
Okay. So, anyways, we have a new game coming up that's not that, but it's called Overrated, Underrated,
Perfectly rated.
Perfectly rated.
First one, Miracle Whip.
There was a big debate today in the office. We'll get to it in the segment. But first, let's start with some of the training camp headlines. Liam, welcome to Edmonton, Mike Hoffman, who is coming into camp on a PTO. A bit of a surprise there, obviously. Okay, Mike Hoffman has scored a lot of goals in his career. 6-time 20-goal scorer, Mike Hoffman. Mike Hoffman is not that good at hockey anymore. So that's kind of where I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, for me, Frank put out the tweet, right, of basically why the Oilers did it. Do you have it there? Do you want me to read it?
You can read it.
Okay, Edmonton are looking to add an extra body in camp with the injury to Carl Berglund in Penticton. They wanted to keep training camp numbers constant as projected. And in the meantime, Hoffman gets a look. So I don't think this means a lot. I don't think we should read into this at all, to be honest. I think this is basically an opportunity for the Oilers to have another guy at camp.
Yep.
And an opportunity for Hoffman to kind of showcase himself. I don't want to say it quite like this, but it's almost a favor to the agent in a way, being like, you scratch my back here, maybe down the road you can be like, wait, you owe me one, kind of thing.
So again, Hoffman is a left shot that does play the right side or can play the right side. You look at the Oilers depth chart there. Is he better than Hyman? No. Is he better than Arvidsson? No. Is he better than Connor Brown? At this point, I would honestly still say no, because Connor Brown can kill you penalties. Much better bottom six guy. On the left side, if he were to go there, not better than Nuge, not better than Skinner, not as serviceable as Janmark. I'd rather play Podkolzin because there's upside there. And you look back through Hoffman's last couple of seasons, 10 goals in 66 games with the Sharks, 14 goals in 67 games with the Habs, 15 goals in 67 games with the Canadians, and then 17 goals in 52 games with the Blues. So he has been right in that, I think you could call it 12 to 18 goal range the last 3 years when you look at an 82 game sample size. But I think his best days, as I said, are very clearly behind him. And when you look back at those seasons, average 1344 with the Sharks, time on ice, average 1540 with the Habs, average 1703 with the Habs. I don't think you can bring in Mike Hoffman, put him in a bottom six role where he's playing 11 or 12 minutes and be like, score us 18 goals. It's just not going to happen. Also, you have Raph Lavoie. Give him some, if you have a spot that opens up, give Raph Lavoie the opportunity. So also, I'd rather, like I said, Podkolzin get the opportunity. I'd rather Jarventi get the opportunity than just bringing in another old guy. And I know Sergeant Battle says the crazy part, Hoffman would bring our average age down, and that's right. He was born in 89.
He's 34.
He's 34. Again, like these goal scorers, as they get into their mid-30s, they rarely age well.
Can I just throw out an idea?
Sure.
What if he just signs in Bakersfield? He played in San Jose last year. Like, I would assume his family's in California.
He's born in Kitchener, Ontario.
He played in a Q as well, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
and I wonder if, like, he's just like, hey, let me see if I can do it. Kind of gets to the point where you have a Jason Demers situation. It's like, I just want
where he starts coming on our show.
Maybe eventually. Where he's just like, we're gonna give you a chance, but like Bakersfield's probably your best option.
Estimated career earnings of $43.49 million. I think if he doesn't get a contract, he's saying I'm hanging him up. I just can't see him being like, yeah, I'll go ride the bus for $400,000 a year.
Maybe they give him a one-way deal and just put him in the American League. The Oilers have money to spend.
But again, like, at what point does he become of use to you? The only way he comes of use to you is if one of, I would almost argue two of, Nuge, Skinner, Arvidsson, or Hyman get injured.
Yeah. But like, I don't think he's an Oiler. I'm just saying, like, what if that's just kind of the path he's going to end up going down? Clearly, no NHL team wants this guy because it took Carl Berglund, who played in the ECHL last season, to get injured for him to get a camp invite. I think his NHL career is done. I think you put him in the American League. It helps a lot of those guys down there.
Or does it take away minutes from guys you want to develop?
No, I don't think so. The Oilers don't. We just saw the Oilers clearly do not have a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know who's playing on the right wing. Lavoie was playing there, right? So maybe, like you said, like you give Lavoie that spot,
and maybe
in the
putting him
NHL
with
and Savoy.
Yeah, maybe playing him with Savoy down in the minors
scorer, like,
would be good.
In Hoffman, I don't think it's a bad idea.
Okay.
I mean, I just thought of it right now. The drive between San Jose and Bakersfield is 3 hours and 52 minutes. I didn't know how close it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think he's going to come here and he will not be here for long. But
I think
this is better than going to Europe.
I think the chances of him getting a contract with the Oilers is sub 10%.
An NHL contract. I think it's about 35 for an American League. That's my guess.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't think either of the PTOs will make the roster. Dermott definitely has a better chance.
Dermott has a better chance of making the roster. Dermott has a better chance of getting a contract in general.
Yeah, totally.
Like if we're agreeing that it's, let's say, 5% chance Hoffman's on the NHL roster, 30% chance he's in Bakersfield, I think Dermott's more of like a 30% chance he's on the roster, 75% chance he's in Bakersfield.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's actually interesting in this Dermott kind of debate,
and that's where we can go next on our kind of list of shit to talk about.
Dermott and Josh Brown both played in Arizona last year. So they would have been fighting for that spot either way in Arizona. I looked. Yep. Brown played 51 games. Dermott played 50 games. Brown had 3 more points and was +2. Dermott was -14. So I know we don't like Josh Brown's contract, but at the end of the day, the Arizona Coyotes decided that Josh Brown was better than Travis Dermott, which is, I don't know. I never thought of it. It's
an interesting way to view it.
Yeah.
Here's what Stan Bowman had to say about Travis Dermott. Quote, Travis has some flexibility with his game. He's a versatile player. He can play both sides, and he's a guy we will focus on to see how he stacks up to the others competing on the right side, which is interesting. So are they going to be maybe looking at Dermott as, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised then, if this is a situation where we see Dermott on the left and right side a lot in preseason, and if he's, decent on the left and is just competitive enough with a piece like Josh Brown on the right, then you sit there and go, well, then Dermott's going to be our 7th D because he's a lefty who can play the right side, and he's playing the right side as good or better than Josh Brown. So you keep the versatility, and also you keep what would likely be a lower cap it. There's Travis Dermott, if he signs, is probably signing for $800,000, right? So keep that extra $200,000 to keep accruing cap space, put Josh Brown in the minors. If someone really wants to claim Josh Brown, have at her.
Yeah, it seems like a long shot. Tyler made a good comment in the chat as well. Travis Dermott did play in Erie with
Connor McDavid
and Knobloch. So there's
Connor Brown.
And Connor Brown. I'm pretty sure he was Jeff Jackson's client too, if I'm remembering correctly. I think it's good that the Oilers brought in that left side. We kind of spoke about it. A lot of the conversation was on the right side of just like, how are we going to replace Broberg? Like, you only have 3 left-handed defensemen, and that was it. Cam Denis was your next guy up. So I'm fine.
Or Ben Gleason.
Gleason season. Can't wait for that again. I think it is what it is. Just, I don't think this guy's going to come in and do a lot for you. And I think one thing that would benefit Josh Brown too, and again, obviously left shot, right shot, but if, for example, let's just say, I don't know, say someone in the top 6 gets injured.
Yeah.
Josh Brown is going to be okay with coming in and playing that kind of bottom 6, like shutdown pairing. I just don't think Dermott does that same game plan for you. Know what I mean?
But Dermott's,
do you not think he's just like Troy Stetcher?
I know, but Dermott's there in case a lefty gets hurt.
Totally. I get that. But I just think the role that, if again someone would get injured, God forbid, but it's been 3 years when no one's been hurt on his blue line.
The Oilers' blue line has been stupid healthy the last number of years.
With that said, Nurse might miss some time to start the year, and Ekholm did do it. But like for the most part, in critical moments, they have had their core together. I think Josh Brown would be more fit to go in and play like 8 minutes with his skill set.
But like, okay, let's walk through the scenario of the right side. People are going to hate that we're even doing this exercise.
This is good.
If Bouchard gets hurt, who draws in? Dermott.
Brown.
Why?
Because you would move Troy
Stetcher
Stetcher
up.
up, and then you would have Emberson and Brown. God, what a right side that
Well,
would
see,
be.
and I disagree with that. Also, if Evan Bouchard gets hurt, I think
We
I'm
are
quickly.
so screwed.
Yeah, we're royally screwed.
13-5.
You know what? I'm actually over this exercise now. We're going to move on. Because speaking of injuries, Stan Bowman spoke today about Evander Kane.
Yes.
And this is basically how it went. What's wrong with Evander Kane? I don't know.
Everything.
Yeah. What's wrong with Evander Kane? I don't know.
Neither does he.
When is Evander Kane getting surgery? I don't know. How long will Evander Kane be out for? I don't know. And then Evander Kane spoke to the media and they said, when are you having surgery? He said, I don't know. But he did add, I'm having a lot done. I have 2 hernias and 2 torn abdominal muscles. That sounds painful.
Whoa.
Kane says he felt something wrong in late October, got worse by December, Jan. Could this cost him the whole season? Kane added, quote, I certainly hope not, via Daniel Nugent Bowman. He added, quote, I won't put a timeline on my recovery. Kane went on to add, in this via Jason Gregor, that he will have surgery in the next couple of days. So we got our answers from Evander. He mentioned Sean Monahan as someone who gave him great advice and information that helped him make his decision on which doctor to go with. Kane met with 3 different doctors. They all agreed on what surgery was required, but had different ways to approach it. So here's what this sounds like to me. Evander Kane is going to be out until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
and
we're
to be
clearly
fair-
doing the thing. We're doing the thing everyone does.
But sorry, Aaron, could you just go back to that? So he had, what was it, 2 abdominal injuries? Damn, that is
That's cool.
Like, that's just not like, oh, I have a small groin injury. You
No,
know, like he is actually legitimately hurt.
The not scoring for 20 games makes a lot more sense when I read that.
Yeah.
And you know what else? Scoring 24 goals with those injuries is
Pretty
pretty
damn good.
impressive.
Yep.
And we spoke about it. I think it was Aaron and I when you were away last week. He was our player grade. I think we gave him a C for both the regular season and the playoffs, remember correctly?
Yeah.
Because he had those moments where he was great. In the playoffs, those first 3 rounds, he was fantastic. That forecheck on
It was back, yeah.
yeah, was it Hughes or Hronik when Bouchard scored in
Yep.
like 30 seconds left? That was awesome. But then he got hurt again.
I said you could give him a different letter grade for every month of the season.
You
Like
totally
he was
could.
very different all throughout.
It's a roller coaster.
So the fact he was able to perform what he did with those injuries, I think credit to Kane. I think when he comes back, hopefully we will have a healthy Kane. He wouldn't have played for so long, but it's really too bad. I think Kane is, not to get ahead of the show, but a bit underrated for what he actually brings to this team when he's healthy. When he's healthy. He's just always hurt.
2 things. When he's healthy and motivated. You need both.
I don't know. I think
Dude, we've
No,
seen...
Ty, that's fair. That is.
I don't know.
super
I just think
Liam.
he scored 24 goals last year injured.
Yes.
That's I think that's good. How can you tell he's motivated or not?
You can tell when you watch Evander Kane if he's motivated
Or
not.
is he injured? Which he just said he's been injured since October. I think I'm not fully disagreeing with you. I think there is moments, but also if a guy's hurt, if it was any other player, we'd be like, he's banged up. We did it with Draisaitl.
We did this whole thing and I got flamed for it online. One, because people didn't listen to the clip or read the caption at all. But like when he is both, and I'm adding both, healthy and motivated, he is arguably the 3rd best driver in the forward group.
I agree.
I just think there have been a lot of moments. Yes, I understand he was injured last year, and there's no doubt that had an effect on it.
Mhm.
But there were also times where he
wasn't injured when that Brendan Dillon weird interview thing he gave, being like, well, I'm not playing. Like he was healthy then.
Remember, right?
Yeah, but
He was-
you could also say motivated him to fight.
But remember, he was like,
Yeah.
I might as well be sitting in the penalty box if they're not going to play me. And then he did the whole thing where Knobloch, remember the interview in Ottawa when they
Yeah.
scratched him? And it was like, he's banged up. And Kane came out and said,
Yeah.
no, I'm healthy. Okay, so right, like, this has always been, and we're not going to clip this. We're not going to
Yeah,
make it a
don't do it
whole
again.
thing.
Don't
Clip
do
it.
that.
Clip it.
But like, he likes to make himself the center of attention.
Well, he's doing it right now. So Stan Bowman's helping him.
No, Stan Bowman came out and said, I don't know. Evander Kane came out and said,
Stan Bowman put him on LTIR.
Stan Bowman said he's not going on LTIR.
We'll be putting him on injured reserve.
Injured reserve, not a big difference. But the point is, Stan Bowman came out, I don't know. And Kane came out and said, I have 4 injuries. I've been playing through them since October, even though I said in March or whatever, I'm healthy when they gave me a game off. Like, come on.
I'm pro Kane. Underrated. You're saying overrated. The segment begins.
I have a funky feeling, and it's not even that much of a hunch. He's not playing until the playoffs, which
he gets traded.
You can't trade him no team's going to sign on to take that if he's hurt.
Oh, I don't know. March 1st? Maybe. We'll see. That's a conversation for basically the entire season.
Yeah, and it will be. And then, again, the way I can kind of see this playing out from an Oilers perspective, and Original Posar, please correct me if this is misinformation, because, again, we don't know the CBA all that well. But right now, with their roster as set, 13 forwards, 7 defensemen, and 2 goalies, that is including Evander Kane, they have $945,000 in cap space. You could create more by going from Derek Ryan to Lane Peterson, and you could create more by going from Josh Brown to Travis Dermott. In fact, you could increase that by almost about $400,000. So you could have $1.3 million in cap space when the season starts. You let that accrue, and I don't know the math on it, but that would be a pretty significant chunk of salary at the deadline. Like, if I'm not mistaken, again, I'm prefacing everything here, but like, if I'm not mistaken, that would be like $4 to $5 million worth of cap hits you could bring in at the deadline if you have 1.3 million that you're accruing. And then what you could do is spend the money you're accruing, and then boom, on deadline, LTIR Kane and spend another $5 million.
I don't really know how the accruing works. Like, it's like, I don't know how it's judged. You know what I mean? Like, I guess
there's like a math formula to it. It's daily cap hit, and it rolls, and you can save cap space throughout the year.
Yeah, it'd be good if they could do that, because like you said, they're not going to put Kane on LTIR, but one thing they can do when they get down the road, did you just say that?
They'll accrue, and then after you make a trade.
No. They put retroactively put Kane.
Yeah. I just explained that. Yeah.
So I was reading the chat. Too.
Yeah, we should get Hart Levine on, actually, from Puckpedia. He's great.
We met him.
Well,
I did. I think you've met him before.
I've met him countless times.
Yeah, I met him for the first time.
Heart's a beauty.
LA.
Okay, so maybe we'll get Hart on, and he'll explain everything to us. That's probably a good idea.
Do you remember that lady that came up with us when we were with him? Was like, are you even true Oilers fans, or are you from LA? And we were like, no, we're from Edmonton. And she was like, good. Otherwise, I would have beat you up.
And Hart was like, I'm an Oilers fan from LA.
Yeah, I live in LA.
Or who lives in LA? Yeah. Okay, so we got the Kane thing sorted. 1.3 accruing plus Kane's cap it from Sergeant Battle. Bring in Ullmark, Hall, Anderson, or Murphy. No on Ullmark. You have no idea how ready I am to start the Taylor Hall trade rumors. Like, fire him up right now. I have a funny feeling he ends up like re-signing in Chicago at some point. But if you could go to Chicago and you could get a combination, Connor Murphy and Taylor Hall. And you could almost afford it too. $6 million.
Did Kyle Davidson work under Stan Bowman? Or is he just a new?
I think he was new.
Okay. So there's not like relationship there, like Eisenman and Holland.
No, I don't think he's gonna be throwing us a bone, but that would be something.
I don't think they'll keep Hall.
I think Chicago will.
I don't know. I don't think they want to commit to guys.
Yeah, but at this point in Taylor Hall's career, which is a crazy sentence to be saying, because in my brain, he's always 27 years old. He's 32. The idea of him going and getting like a 4-year deal somewhere, I don't know how realistic that is. He might be a 1 to 2 year deal guy the rest of his career. Also, I think he'd want to win, so maybe there's that side of it too. But Braden says Davidson did work under Bowman, so all right. John Savage with the calculation. Take the number of days divided by the remaining days after the deadline, multiply that by the cap hit. Of course. So like if the deadline is whatever, 3/4 of the way through the season and you have 1 quarter to go, I think you can take the cap hit and times it by 4. So like if the Oilers could go 1.2 million in cap space all year, I think that works out to $4.8 million in deadline money.
Gotcha.
That might be that might be a lie.
I'll just watch the number go up on Puckpedia.
There you go. That's a great idea. But anyway, I think the Oilers are fully prepared to game the system here with Evander Kane.
Yep.
And I have a funky feeling Evander Kane is sitting there, considering he's waited until this week to get his surgery. I have a funny feeling Evander Kane sat there and said, "Sounds good to me." He was golfing this summer.
He got engaged.
He's golfing so much. He posts it all the time.
Yeah.
I think Evander Kane's good with sitting out to the playoffs.
I don't think he's too bothered. No. Send me my paychecks.
Maynard keeps asking for squirrel updates. Are these the squirrels I have? Or does anyone else have a squirrel issue?
I'm squirrelless.
Yeah, I'm squirrel free.
Is there if you want an update on my
birds at the office, it wasn't squirrels.
Yeah, but the squirrels at my house, still an issue. I don't know what to do. Might take down my shed. Might fill the underneath of my shed with cement. I trapped them last year and I drove them out and I tried to do the humane thing. Didn't work. Earplugs, wildlife don't come after me. How am I going to word this? I thought there was also a mouse back there, so I put out a ton of rodent poison to get the mouse.
Oh.
I think I got the mouse. I did not get the squirrel. Legally, you can't do that, which is why I didn't. I was trying to get the mouse.
Trying to look at the
squirrels
upcoming free agents.
Oh, the upcoming free agent class stinks outside of the obvious Marner, Rantanen, and duo or whatever.
Yeah, third on this list on Puckpedia. I actually don't know how it's even. Oh, it's based off points from last season. Wow. Nyquist had more points than Brock Besser last year in the same amount of games. Nyquist is the third guy on this list.
That's okay.
I mean, he's not going to go. He's on Nashville, but yeah, it's an interesting list. There's not a lot to play with, and a lot of the guys who are relevant play for playoff teams.
Mm-hmm.
The best one would be Brock Nelson. But I just know Lou Lamoriello is not trading anyone. He's probably going to trade for people, and they'll be dead last in the East.
Yeah, Lou doesn't know how. Lou doesn't know how to do that. So, okay, there you go. I think that's kind of the big headlines coming out of camp. Correct? Oh wow, it's already 12:30. We're cruising.
Yeah, that would be the big headlines.
Yeah, those are the big headlines out of camp. Okay, we got a couple other things we want to get to. First up, let's get to what's trending for our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine.
Let's do it.
Summer is not over yet. I refuse to believe it. And whether you're looking to get out on the water a little bit more before winter and fall come rolling around, or maybe you want to enjoy a nice fall ride on your motorcycle or on your e-bike, they got all the gear you need. Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Okay, you want to get to what's trending?
Yes.
Nick Foligno is going to be the captain in Chicago.
Good idea. Not that surprising.
Yeah. He'll do it for 2 years, then he'll retire, then they'll give it to Bedard.
Yep.
Good plan. Seems like
awesome.
a good guy. All right, good. No deal yet for Jeremy Swayman.
That is becoming a bit stupid. I don't know a lot around it, but I just keep thinking
he's your only goalie. You have to sign him.
Yeah, they have to sign him. His comments were interesting the other day of just I've got to look out for other goalies and stuff like that, and I get it, but I don't know. It just seems like such a mess from everyone. So mostly Boston.
I find it interesting that Sweeney, the GM of the Bruins, came out and added is optimistic they'll find a landing spot by December 1st. To me, that right there is prime agent interrogation, or what? Not terrorism.
I'm gonna let you fight through this one.
Interrogate.
Yeah, what is the word?
Intimidation.
There you go.
That's agent intimidation
and interrogation.
Yeah, does he mean landing spot with the Bruins? It's just that's
what I mean. It's so vague.
Jargon, media. You can see why he was so pissed.
it's agent terrorism.
Yeah, stick with it.
Algorithms just blocking us on everything except for on X. Elon's pushing us right to the top because we said terrorism. There's your political joke for the day. Okay, a couple comments here. Okay, yes. So he also had something because the Spit and Chicklets guys came out. Do we have the quote, AB, or do I need to just read it?
Right here.
Okay, perfect. Don Sweeney, clearly not happy about some of the reporting around the Swayman negotiations, called the Spit and Chicklets podcast the, quote, spitting up on yourself podcast, and says reports from them were bullshit, that he wasn't calling Swayman or his camp. Spit and Chiclet said that Sweeney apparently didn't return calls for up to 3 weeks. He went on to add, my son loves Biz, thinks he's fabulous. I think he's a great entertainer, but at the end of the day, it's inaccurate. So Don Sweeney's feeling a little spicy as Tyler, inaccuracies are bothering him. It's complete bullshit to say that I did not return someone's calls for 3 weeks. So Sweeney's fired up. All right. Tyler Mulick, I need a GM to come after this podcast so I can go to war with that franchise. Power ranking GMs who are most likely to come after us.
Number 1, Steve Tambellini.
He doesn't work anywhere.
Yeah,
Well,
Kearns,
maybe
like
that's
active-
why.
Yeah,
He's got
active
nothing to do.
GM. Well, I mean, we've pissed off one NHL owner before.
Oh, yeah. Shout out.
Go. I mean, we beat him in the playoffs this year. That's the hint I'll give everyone.
And they won an American team.
Doug Armstrong could come at us, but that's fine, bro. Square up.
Yeah, Doug. But to be fair, that guy wouldn't hesitate to injure his mother by the sounds of it. So
Yeah, he'd be pretty ruthless. People are saying to tell. I just told you guys. I mean, there was one incident from our show in the playoffs that went insanely viral,
yeah.
and there was a team that it was about.
Can we just say?
I feel like it's
No,
pretty
because I don't want to
obvious.
burn bridges. All right, don't clip this. That's between us. If you guys are watching on September 18th, you're the real diehard, so I don't mind giving you that. But I had heard that the owner saw that clip and ran it up a couple flagpoles and was like, "This ain't cool." So, anyways,
Any other GMs?
I'm gonna
Steve
get myself-
Staios. I've chirped him before.
oh
but
yeah,
that's
we've
about it.
chirped Steve
Oh,
Staios.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he one day came at us. That's a good top 3 though.
Do you think Don Sweeney kind of sucks at his job?
No, the Bruins have been too competitive for too long to say that.
Okay, but what have they done in
Okay.
that competitive era? Like, they've been competitive, yeah, there's no denying that.
Like in his tenure,
From 2016 is when he became the GM. 15-16 season. What's their playoff record since then? Like, have they been to the Cup final under his tenure?
They lost to St. Louis.
2017, right?
They lost to St. Louis,
Or was
yeah.
that 2020?
I mean, when you look, like he got Pasternak done to a pretty good deal. I think that was solid.
I just feel like this team has always been
Yeah.
very good. Pastor, yeah, good deal. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, every GM in the league pretty much just signed their superstars besides Brad Treliving.
Yeah.
And so it's like an accomplishment, yeah, and he got it on a really good deal. But I don't know. I feel like this team should have won a Stanley Cup in his era, especially the way they go in at the deadlines. Like when I got Hampus Lindholm, Tyler Bertuzzi that one year too. Like they've given it a go. I don't know. It just feels underwhelming, I guess. So
Yeah.
they've literally they lost in the Cup final in 2019 and have not made it past the second round in any other year.
But to be a perennial playoff team,
Very good.
cycling through the Chara departure, cycling through the Bergeron departure,
Totally.
like that is tough to stay afloat through all that and never even come close to dipping into a rebuild.
But
Who was that podcast guy who said he'd eat cat food the year they won the division?
Oh
That guy's an idiot.
yeah, they did send that NHL record too.
That
And
guy
lost in the
sucks.
first round.
Yeah.
But I don't know, to be sitting here on September 17th, and I know you don't want to just give in to every big deal, but like, how are you sitting there and being like, we'll get it done before December 1st when
Yeah.
you literally traded Olmark earlier this summer, which you should have, I think.
Yeah. I think it was the right move.
And like Corpusal is fine. Winning a cup is hard. I agree. But I don't know. Ken Holland went to a Stanley Cup final and a Western Conference final. So 2 conference finals, and his tenure is seen as almost a failure for the Connor McDavid era.
I see what you're saying. Just looking right now, the Bruins, as of this moment, have $8.63 million in cap space, but that's with 14 forwards. If they were to send down one of their like league min forwards, they'd go up to $9.3 million. This seems very easy to do.
I think
This
so.
should be an 8 by 8.5 contract. Swayman probably wants to go into the 9s, but I think it's insane that he wants to be in the 9s when he's never been a standalone starting goalie before. So I can understand why Boston's pushing back, saying, whoa, we're not paying you like a star goalie because you were the backup for the Vezina guy 2 years ago. So I think you got to meet in the middle. Maybe it's 8 by 8, maybe it's 8 by 7.5. And I know, listen, I understand what Jeremy Swayman was saying when we played the clip a month ago now. when he was like, you know, you got to do right for other players and set the market, blah, blah. Okay, dude, you've never played more. Like, what's his career high in games in a season?
Probably 50.
There's no way it's 50. How many would he have played last year?
Didn't he have the rookie season where he was kind of on his own?
41, and last year he played 44. Okay, so you've never played 50 games. You want to be paid like a stud number one, not even just a normal number one. And I laughed when he was like, I want to do right by the rest of the market, blah, blah, blah. I love Boston. He goes, and I also have to do right by my family. Brother, $42 million is doing a whole lot of right. You can do a lot of right for a lot of family with 42 schmackaroos in the bank.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, so, yeah. If
He's got leverage, though, because of Omar. Like, he can say, I know I've only started 44. You just made the choice to make me start 50, 60, pony up.
That is
I
also
do kind of get that.
They made the decision that he was that guy.
And his career numbers are really damn good. I get
919.
that. Career 919.
Stuart Skinner 910.
Yeah, Stuart Skinner might be expensive, boys, but
We'll deal with that then.
yeah. What's that? Oh, we have someone in the chat who's a Connor Bedard hater.
Yeah,
That's
they
crazy.
said AV or AV.
Bedard didn't show a single ounce of leadership last season. He was 18. I understand he's only 18. Good. But there have been plenty of 18-year-olds throughout the years whose demeanor screamed captain right from there. Do you not remember the way people treated Sidney Crosby when he came into the NHL? If anything, he showed more moments of being a whiny baby. That this is literally just about Sid. Someone from 2006 teleported to today and is complaining about Sid. Smashing sticks over the board, Sid did that after missing that. Complaining to the refs, Sid did that. Connor McDavid did that. Connor McDavid got a 10-minute misconduct because after he scored a shootout goal, he skated past a ref and said, check upstairs. The ref doesn't do video reviews, McDavid. Like, come on, man. We sold a lot of shirts about that, though. Incredibly blatant penalties. Lastly, dodging scheduled post-game interviews after blowing a lead to another bottom feeder. The C is earned, not given. Jesus, man. What is going on?
Dude, he's 19. He shouldn't have the C. Like,
to be fair,
he can't even drink. How can you be the captain if you can't go out party with the team?
I did ask, I don't know, them to tell us why they don't think.
Connor, in the middle, this is so good from Sergeant Battle. In the middle of 3-on-3 overtime last season, Connor McDavid smashed his stick on the boards. The play was still happening.
He did. That's when he scored his 60th goal.
Yeah. Oh, that was 2 years ago then.
2 years ago. Yeah. Luckily didn't break. Thank goodness.
But like, he threw a fit because he missed on a breakaway and it was mid-play. Like the puck was going the other way and Connor was down. So like, what are we doing here?
That's funny.
Oh my God. Being a Bedard hater after 1 year is a wild leg to stand on. Guys who want to win will get emotional. Absolutely.
So I think that's funny. I want to talk about this quickly. Actually. Do you have anything else in the what's trending? Because this is kind of trending in a way.
Okay, you go.
So, and I want to preface, I know the San Jose Sharks suck.
They do.
Okay. But last season, the NHL kicked off its season with Sidney Crosby versus Connor Bedard. Remember, it was a huge buildup. We had never seen anything like it before in terms of a first overall pick getting this kind of hype. And we're like, ESPN finally back in hockey. The San Jose Sharks with Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith have won nationally televised game this season. And I just find it so interesting that they're just like not promoting this Celebrini guy at all. And I maybe the difference is that Bedard plays in Chicago and
it's a time zone thing.
And Celebrini plays in San Jose, but also I just find that so strange. Like last season, I swear, like I watched Vegas, San Jose a ton of times, or like random Anaheim, San Jose 8 p.m. game on the West Coast, on our time zone, on like the ESPN Sportsnet feed. And I just thought, why are they not doing this with Celebrini? Like you could do it with him and being like our opening night, we have, I don't know, like I know San Jose, Anaheim isn't exactly a crowd pleaser, but to be fair,
you could have thrown
and Chicago isn't exactly a rivalry.
You also could have made like the second end of a doubleheader, Oilers Sharks.
Exactly. But yeah, Bedard, McDavid, wow.
Sharks, Blackhawks would have been good. There's enough.
Like something, but I just find that so strange that they just are refusing to do it now with Celebrini. Celebrini is not American. He is Canadian. But Will Smith's Canadian, a U.S. player.
Yep, U.S. NDP.
Boston
NDP.
College.
Mm-hmm.
Was the star of the World Juniors team. Like just won the. Did they just win or win 2 years ago? I can't remember.
You guys know Prime is doing Prime Monday Night Hockey?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's new.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Man,
what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, oh wow, the NHL's now marketing a young star.
I know, but it just seems like they tried to set a tone last year.
Yeah,
I just find it baffling.
You're right. They probably like it's the number 1 overall pick. But I will also say that when like I'm thinking back to like watching nationally televised NBA games, they didn't do a great job of Wemby.
But the NBA, I agree. But the NBA is in a very different spot. It feels like it just feels like
and I would say no, NBA is in a weird transition spot right now, where who the stars are starting to change over a bit.
Yes, agreed. But the league itself is so established everywhere. So
they don't lack in star power.
No, they don't. I just found that interesting.
Did you guys get the email about who our new ad partner is? Can't say it yet. That's sick.
Is that what you were reading?
Yeah, I'm emailing about them. That's why you did some ranting.
I'm not in the email thread. What the hell?
No, I didn't get it.
That seems like an overstep considering you produced the show. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
We'll do it live.
Okay, we got a couple more things for what's trending because we were running out of time on the show. Thomas Harley gets a bridge deal. That's going to be an expensive mistake. Yeah, pretty cool. Lucas Raymond goes 8x8. And I hate how people are always like making everything about the Toronto Maple Leafs, but the Red Wings getting Lucas Raymond for 8x8 does make the first Marner, Matthews, and Nylander contracts way more hilarious, or just basically Marner and Matthews, mainly Marner. The fact that the Leafs paid him like he is a stud superstar guy and didn't get max term. And then you look around the league and pretty much every high-end winger just signs an 8-year deal at decent value with their team coming out of their ELC. So funny. The Leafs, like Kyle Dubas he fumbled those so bad, like historically terrible dealings in those negotiations, but good for Detroit to get their guy locked up. Victor Hedman's going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning captain now. Steven Stamkos is gone.
Breaking. Well, yeah, they basically picked Hedman over Stamkos, didn't they?
It's like the easiest decision to make of who to give that to.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's still so good. Hedman, that is. And Stamkos still so good.
Did you see what Connor Bedard's over-under was for points this year?
No.
What do you think it is?
Well, just based off your tone of voice, I think it should be like 80. I bet it's like 67.
Bet365 has it at 81.5.
I think that's fair enough. Do you disagree?
Yeah, no, I think it's fair, but that just goes back to me, like a lot of people saying he's not generational.
Are you joking? Yeah, come on.
Remember that goal he scored against us?
That was sick.
That was pretty generational sick.
He's an amazing player, guys. Like, really, do you not agree?
I am with you 1,000%. He's playing like I remember being at that game in person and watching them try to do a power play.
Oh my god!
It was like the worst thing I've ever watched. It was just Bedard skating in with the puck and everyone else just being like,
I know. What do I do?
Yeah. And then Bedard, after like a minute 15, was like, well, guess I got to get off the ice now. Like, he had nothing out there.
Do you remember John Goyens went on Daily Faceoff Live and didn't he do like a thing on the Blackhawks power play being like, nobody does anything?
He pulled up just him. He pulled up like 5 clips where guys on the Hawks power play had passes that would go into their feet. Not because they were bad passes, but because Bedard would be like on the other side of the offensive zone and seam it through 4 guys. Yeah. And it'd be like whoever backdoor, like, just fumbles it. It's like, oh my God. Connor Bedard is generational. And listen, people are saying he's not McDavid level. Connor McDavid is like super generational. Yeah. Nice. Hey, there we go. He's like on a totally different level, different stratosphere than anyone we've ever seen in the sport. McDavid.
Totally.
What McDavid's done production-wise, the way he plays the game, individually better than Sidney Crosby, like in terms of that side of things. Being electric, scoring goals, producing points, all of that. Connor Bedard is going to be a generational goal scorer.
I don't think I'll say the cap era, being drafted in the cap era, there's a player out of Western Canada like Connor Bedard.
Like that's the other thing too. We should love him. Like he's a Western Canadian boy.
Yeah. Like there's not when anybody like him. I think and someone put in there, JLM put the term generational is thrown around like a football.
Absolutely.
I would agree. But I think it's thrown around to like the wrong people.
Who are the generational players in the NHL right now? Connor, Sid, Ovi.
If you were to go in order now,
And I would say someone like Carey Price was a generational player too.
Is Patrick Kane generation?
No.
I don't think so.
I'd say
No.
guys like Kane, Draisaitl, Kucherov.
so going in order, I'm going to
I don't even know if I
superstars.
think Liam is.
superstars. Yeah.
Not generational.
So like going
superstars.
through the first overall picks in the NHL, these are the guys who I'd call generational. I think Bedard's going to do it. I think Matthews is. Obviously, the goal scoring is stupid. Like those numbers are insane. McDavid is.
Jack Hughes is not.
No, I was stuttering on McKinnon next.
No.
And then from
Yes.
he's like right there. There's like that. It is such a tiny line.
Yeah, he's I don't know
He's,
if
like,
he
right there.
is. He's an amazing player, but
But like to me, when I talk about a generational player, I don't view it as in the lens of this player comes around once a generation. I view it as this guy is going to be not just the face of his team, not just the face of the league
face
for a
of
couple of
this
years.
generation.
He's going to be one of the faces of the generation.
Yeah, when you put it like that, then
That's a good breakdown of that.
So I McKinnon's close, but then it's like the guys who I don't stutter with. I think Bedard gets there, and then I have Matthews, McDavid, lock, Crosby, Ovi, lock. Like you do have to remember as well, like Crosby and Ovi are on their way out now. Connor McDavid's also halfway through his career here.
Yeah.
Like by the time Bedard is where McDavid is, McDavid will be where Sid is. So like that's why I don't have a problem calling him generational. Before Sid and Ovi, then you got to go really far back. I think that's when you probably get to probably Mario Lemieux.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sakic.
We have a couple other things we need to get to, and the show probably can't go that late today. So I have one last what's trending, and then it's going to tie into our Sherwood Ford Giant question. Okay. Adrian Wojnarowski announced his retirement today. The insider of all insiders in sports from NBA or from ESPN. He was an NBA insider. Woj bombs, all of it. GOAT. That's the GOAT.
This was the biggest Woj bomb of them all.
It really was. So Woj is retiring to go run the basketball program at his former college.
Tell me you are rich as all rich without telling me.
So in his quote, he said, "I grew up the son of a factory worker 2 miles from ESPN's campus and only ever dreamed of making a living as a sports writer. 37 years ago, he got his first byline, talks about how the craft has transformed his life. I mean, he's a star amongst stars. He's one of the best reporters. You want to talk about generational? Adrian Wojnarowski is a generational reporter. He is going to, again, run the basketball program at his college.
I've never even heard of this school.
Exactly. It's crazy. But Woj is, I mean, that was stunning. Like, again, we were talking in the office earlier when Bob McKenzie retired, like he's still doing stuff, but he like slowly trickled into retirement and then like kind of weaned himself away from being an insider. To just up weeks before the season and be like, I'm out. See ya.
Kind of
crazy. So
that school and team's about to get so much funding.
Oh,
So
yeah.
much publicity.
Totally. That
Um,
first game.
Speaking of, I want to tie this into our Sherwood Ford Giant question. Tired of dealership hassles? Sherwood Ford in Sherwood Park is all about convenience and upfront pricing with their Giant Deal program. Get clear, no-nonsense pricing on new and used Fords online with all incentives included. Plus, enjoy the ease of mobile service, free pickup and delivery, and same-day or next-day service appointments, getting you back on the road and back into your next adventure. Sherwood Ford, the Giant. If you could trade places with one media member, any sport, whoever it is, for one season, who would it be?
Oh, see, I have an interesting one, and I would
Can't say me.
All right, moving on.
Oh no.
Someone dance it. I should say that.
That was good.
I think James Duffy.
That was my
Oh,
pick.
was it? Because he basically gets to just pick what he wants to do.
And he
But-
makes like a shit.
I know.
He's the highest paid in
Oh,
Canada, without a
totally.
doubt.
But something interesting with him, and don't get me wrong, this guy has obviously earned his way to the position he's in. He's amazing. He was like the face of TSN for a long, long time. Still kind of is.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
So Canada played Argentina in Atlanta the night before one of the Oilers playoff games at home in the Stanley Cup final. I think it was game 3 or game 4, one of the two. And James Duffy was at that game the next day. And I know it's just a flight away or whatever, but it just like shows his commitment to being like, I do whatever I want but I want to be at the Stanley Cup final and also at this huge moment for Canada soccer when they play Messi. So I've just a lot of respect for him and a lot of respect for his work schedule.
One time when
taking PJs, or does he got a fly commercial?
The commercial.
You think that was a PJ, or
you can do direct Edmonton Atlanta.
When I worked at Jersey City in West Edmonton Mall, I had James Duthie's book. Loved it. And
guy on the left or whatever.
Yeah, the guy on the left. Book. And he was doing a book signing in West Edmonton Mall, and I was on shift. So I tweeted him, and I was like, "Hey, I really want to come get my book signed, but I'm working. Like, how long do you think the line will be?" And he replied and was like, "We'll make it work." So I took my 15-minute break in my Jersey City shirt, and I went down to the book signing, and he saw me and was like, waved me up to the front of the line. It was the best. James Duthie is absolutely the best. I've had a little bit of experience with him.
I've never met him. I've seen him a few times, but
yeah, the idea that he basically gets to pick what events he does, and he goes Canada Soccer, Stanley Cup Final, Super Bowl, Masters. That's his big four. And then TSN goes, but you got to do Leafs Regional. He goes, okay, fine, I'll do Leafs Regional. But James Duthie was without a doubt my pick. Do you have a different one?
If I was going Canadian, it'd be Jay On, right? Just because he's my goat and everything. But I first saw you wrote this down. My first answer was Shannon Sharp. Just kidding. But you know me, Unk be getting it in. Pat McAfee for me. You know that about me. No network show has as much fun as the McAfee show. It's kind of changed ESPN. They go to live games, college football, goes to Dublin and drinks Guinness. They got a basketball court in their studio. That's me. That's what I'd want to do.
That studio's so weird.
I think it's sick.
I mean, it's cool. The first time they ever zoomed out, I was like, they just do this in a gym.
Yeah, he just shoots balls, and it's like, if I make this, I'll donate $50,000 to this children's hospital, and just shoots them up there. I'd love to do that.
Mulek said Ariel Helwani or Pat McAfee.
Ariel Helwani has been taking a lot of crap because from the mixed martial arts side of things, and maybe I don't know the whole details, but I think he's really good. And he did the Olympic stuff, which is cool too.
Yeah,
Michael Landsberg.
Oh my god, that was the worst.
What was that show called?
Off the Record.
OTR.
I hated that show
so
much.
I
get it.
I was a big PTI guy.
I was too. I liked PTI.
I'm surprised you didn't say Big Cat.
But I guess it's that. Yeah, it's media.
That's media.
It's just
we're media.
Yeah. It comes back to our debate. Then Big Cat would be.
Yeah.
Peter Drury. Yeah, that's a good one. He is a commentator for soccer. Oh yeah,
Shane.
Shout out Shane. That's a really good call.
Gene Mulek, Alex Jones. I think I went to
Steer clear that one.
I'm not even gonna say it.
All right.
Actually, I will. I think Joe Rogan would be cool. I know he's
interviews cool people, big names,
cool people, but his UFC stuff is so just doesn't do anything outside of the US anymore. To get to that level of your career where you can just be like, I ain't going there, and you can't ever convince me to do this. I'm going to tell you what I do.
Oh, Mulek said Sean Evans, the Hot Ones guy. That's a good one.
Oh, I could never. I have salt and pepper wings, and they're a bit much.
All right, Liam. Okay, there you go. That's our short forward giant question. Let's continue along. We have a lot to get to.
Yeah.
We didn't do the game.
We can do it quickly. It won't take very long.
All right, Liam's game is on the Star Mechanical guest line today. That's what's up. StarMechanical.ca, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. They've been doing it for north of 20 years, and they've been doing it better than anyone. StarMechanical.ca. Liam, the game today is overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated.
Yes.
You have 5 images that you're going to be showing me. And,
cool.
And we are going to be doing, are they overrated or are they underrated? We should have gotten
perfectly rated.
Or perfectly rated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your first one.
Training camp battles.
I will say, in the context of the Edmonton Oilers,
yes, that's kind of what this is.
Overrated.
I totally agree.
I don't
think there is any.
I think the 4C one, we're stretching it. As much as I am Lane Peterson's agent, someone joked earlier, we're stretching it. And the blue line, we're talking about the 7th defenseman at this point.
Exactly. There's someone put in the chat before, I think it was Sergeant Battle, can Ollie compete with Pickard? No.
Stuart Skinner today said this about Calvin Pickard. He's the best teammate you could ask for. He's like a big brother to me. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, so overrated.
Yep.
Training camp battles are meant for reporters to get back in their bag and kind of get back in the
For us.
swing of things. Yeah.
Yeah, Mulick. Like, think about how good Gleason played last season, and he didn't get a sniff.
Totally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Next one.
We already did this one.
We did this one.
I think slightly underrated.
Slightly overrated.
All right, there you go.
I think he's properly rated. So right there.
There you go.
You think the love and hate balances
Because
out?
of that, he's properly rated.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, that's
Okay.
fair.
Next one.
NFL QBs.
Just all of them in a sense?
Just the idea of this generation of quarterback in the NFL currently. I
they're-
think incredibly overrated.
No.
100%.
These are like way more skilled than the QBs you'd see in the past.
No, I think as a group, I think this group there's 5-6 guys. There's a big group of like Baker Mayfield might be a top 10 QB this year. That guy couldn't get on an NFL roster 2 years ago.
That's a great redemption story.
first-
That's not that's a product of him getting screwed over by some dog crap organization.
I disagree. I think
He was a number one overall pick.
Jared Goff, another one. As a Lions fan, we literally got him as a cap dump to be like, you guys
That still
suck.
makes no sense.
Take this crappy contract. I think there's like 6 good QBs in the league.
See, I think
I
like,
honestly
like back in the
can't-
day, you'd argue Tom, Peyton, Drew Brees,
Phillip
Aaron
Rivers,
Rodgers, not even Phillip Rivers for me.
Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls.
And there's like, 4 is kind of the stretch we're looking at. So let's think today: Mahomes, Burrow, Allen,
Lamar.
Burrow?
Lamar's 2 MVPs.
Oh no, I think
Maybe a
Lamar.
conversation about Burrow. Matt Stafford's a Hall of Famer. He's still kicking it.
Yeah, he is. But Matthew
Aaron
Stafford-
Rodgers is still good
but
at 40.
Matthew Stafford, like in his prime, was maybe a top 10. Now he's like, is he the 7th best in the league?
I'll say
you know,
properly.
that's
I'll say
That's fair.
properly rated. Actually,
I just think so bad.
I'm a Tom guy, so overrated, especially the guy on the left. Right
I
there.
think if you were to look at the worst quarterbacks 20 years ago and compare them to the worst quarterbacks now, the worst quarterbacks now are better than the worst quarterbacks 20 years ago.
20 years ago. I can't even think about that far.
But like Kyler Murray's healthy. He's looking unreal.
He's a good quarterback. I agree. But
Geno Smith is like an afterthought who will just casually drop a 300-game bomb on
Geno
someone.
Smith 10 years ago couldn't make an NFL roster. When he
And look at
started-
him now.
Yeah, exactly. Because
the
NFL QBs
numbers.
suck.
The numbers.
No, I think
defense can't hold anymore.
I think a lot of wide receivers. I think a lot of wide receivers like make QBs way better than they are.
You are insane for saying that.
No, I'm
you
not.
think the wide receivers are carrying quarterbacks right now?
100%. What's the guy?
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, just got a 97-yard touchdown from Sam
leave
Darnold.
Sam
the other
Darnold's
day.
name out of
Sam
it. so you-
Darnold again.
That right
Doing
there
very
got Aaron to
well.
1/40th of his 4,000 yard bet.
I just think like
Oh, bag milk shows up in the window.
just way more overrated than they used to be.
Next,
interested.
we're running out of time. Next,
Jamie Benn.
he's just mean Ryan Nugent Hopkins. He's overrated.
I think slightly perfectly rated. Yeah, perfectly rated.
Now let's ask his ex-lovers.
Back to you. I think he's properly rated because I've never heard him. Yeah, move past that. He's probably rated because he never gets brought up in like the real great player conversation.
Almost 1,000 career points.
Okay, next one.
Tell you something I've done 1,000 more times than him.
Okay,
Final one.
901. Subway.
We can't do this.
Yeah, we can. They're not on the show. Overrated and overpriced.
Definitely overpriced. Where's your go-to sub spot then? Like sandwich spot.
Oh, I make
Oh.
one.
Mulek said Quiznos are
Give me
better
that
than
then.
Subway. No
Quiznos
way.
No,
not bad.
One time
No
I had
way.
Quiznos and I asked them for a chicken sub. They put tuna in it.
Oh,
And I'd already walked all the way back to Jersey City, other side of the mall. I was like, are you kidding me?
you know, the one thing that always weirds me out, and I don't know if this is every Quiznos, but they put the oven like at the front. So you like see it, and it just, I don't know. I prefer when someone just turns around and puts it in the thing and it just like carries on.
Subway's perfectly rated.
Yeah.
No one's sitting here
I
saying
think it's good, but I just think the price is crazy.
everywhere is.
Yeah, it's
True.
not just Subway.
This economy.
Even like you
Next
could-
one, the economy.
Next one, the liberal government.
Live of the year. And then mayonnaise was the other argument we had.
Oh, yeah,
in here.
mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. I will eat mayonnaise if I'm at a restaurant, wherever, and
Yeah.
like sandwich comes in, I'll be like, oh, that's good. I will never put mayonnaise on something myself.
I agree.
You guys are crazy.
Perfectly
You're
rated.
like, and mayonnaise is like Nickelback. That everyone just thought it was popular to hate on mayonnaise. They're all ganging up on mayonnaise.
I think it's fine.
mayonnaise. I'm
I just-
anti-Miracle Whip.
I just don't buy it when I'm like making a sandwich at home. Like people were saying on their grilled cheese, they put mayonnaise.
Oh, yeah.
I just
No.
butter the bread.
No,
Yeah.
And like if I'm making a sandwich at home, I just put butter on and like barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce, underrated condiment. We've done this before though.
yeah,
Okay. All right. We need to wrap up the show with our Bet365 other sports report brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OILYBONUS to get in on the action. Download the app today with Bet365. Liam and I, mainly driven by Liam, but I'm
Yes.
riding shotgun. We are on a Champions League heater.
We are cooking right now. Yesterday we bet on Real Madrid to beat Stuttgart
Bang!
at halftime. That hit. And then today there was a game at 10:45. We bet on Sparta Prague to beat RB Salzburg.
Early payout.
Early payout. Early payout. That's what Bet365 offers. 2 goals up, get your money. Was complaining about it.
Waz was like, what if I don't want it? We're like, what do you mean? What if you don't want it? Your bet one was.
So
Say those team names again because I tried to Google this and
RB Leipzig.
Nope.
And Sparta. RB Salzburg and Sparta Prague.
And which one did you bet on?
Sparta Prague.
Go.
Yeah, so I put a couple of shillings down on the 1 p.m. games too, which you might want to get in. And I did a parlay of Man City and PSG.
Man City PSG to win?
Yeah,
I'm in.
And then I bet on Erling Haaland to score. That guy is literally a goal per game player for City, which in soccer is absolutely insane.
Okay, so we're on Champions League.
Champions League, which is a
Yeah,
huge,
I'm
they
riding
just
too.
got a huge partnership with Bet365.
Yes.
So it's very
Okay,
good.
who am I going? Man City?
Man City and PSG together.
Why don't I see them? What time do they start? One?
They just start. They already
Oh,
started,
shoot.
but they're only a minute in.
Okay.
And then you should
Uh,
be able to bet
Man
on
City. PSG.
oh no, you might not be able to bet on a Haaland goal anymore. You kind of
Goal
halftime.
scorers. And who's he on?
Haaland,
Yeah.
City.
He's on Man City.
You getting minus 125?
Yeah, minus 125 on that. But I mean, they're not
Let's
great
ride.
odds, but I mean, it's nice to win some money, you know. So there you go. Champions League, new format this year. Very interesting, but yeah, that's what we've been doing. We've had a mandatory office days the last few days,
And we've been loving it.
so we have been cooking up some.
That basketball
beverages.
hoop's getting a lot of work too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I'm in,
Yeah.
Liam. Oh, I should use my safety net bet. Darn.
what is that?
Just $10 to in case you missed. Ah, that was free. Darn.
Oh, you made that up?
Yeah.
because they actually had that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I should have used my safety net bet on this, but I got it all in on one parlay with Holland, Man City, and PSG. Let's go. High five. Good show today, man.
That was a good show today.
Yep. All right. That's going to be a wrap on today's edition of Oilersnation Everyday. We're back Friday. Talk some NFL. Lining up a couple of guests for
I think I'm
next
going
week.
to carry on my point of NFL quarterbacks on Friday.
Okay.
I'm
We'll
going to get
continue.
a side-by-side comparison.
Touchdowns are down.
Sorry?
Touchdowns are way down. Passing
They
touchdowns.
are. I'm going to say from 2014. So what's
Oh,
it, 10 years
wow.
ago? What?
Phil Tomasino, 1-year deal with the Preds.
Okay.
Restart the show. Thanks for tuning in today, everybody. Subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. Subscribe to the DFO YouTube as well. Go give a double sub today. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. We'll see you Friday. Oil up.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.